Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to Apron Strings. I guess I need to welcome myself back because I've been gone a while. But I was at A&M with Lauren, and then when I got home, I had to get my plants planted in my raised beds out back, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go show y'all my garden. But I need to talk to you about something just before we go out there. I've had two different people who have ordered aprons, and you've paid on PayPal. One of you is Pamela Baker, and then I have one from Sandy Jackson. Y'all have paid for aprons, but you haven't given me any information about which style, the shelf or the regular, or what your choice of fabric is. So if you will email me, my email is down below on all of my videos, and you paid on PayPal, so you used my email there. If you'll let me know which fabric you wanted and which apron, I'll get it made and in the mail to you. So, that being said, I have worked and worked and worked on the backyard. Troy went and was able to get me a load of pea gravel because I like that for the walkways where I have my furniture under the big trees to sit in and all, and I wanted pea gravel around my raised beds. I had ordered the raised beds and the grandsons put them together for me. And so I had a big old, I guess it's a coal scoop, a big old shovel. Would load it with the pea gravel, put it in a little wagon, bring it and dump it and spread it. Well, finally Troy realized that he could take the little tractor and scoop it in the bucket and dump it in the wagon, and that helped. But then I also scooped the mushroom compost and filled all of my pots where I could plant my tomato plants. So it's been a lot of work. It's probably been good for me. I needed the exercise, and I'm real proud of how it's turning out. And it's not perfect. It's still a work in progress. I'll tell y'all the rest of the things that I want to do when we get out there. But I'm going to show y'all my backyard. To me, it's a haven. I love it. So let's go outside and look and see what we've been doing. Okay, when we come out the back door, which my storm door has come loose and I'm having to prop it open. But this is one of my big ferns I've just got behind the door, and y'all, see if I can show you. There's a lizard over here and he's showing his money pouch. See if I can get close enough up to see him right there. There. He was showing his money pouch. That's what we always call it anyhow. Okay, now we'll move over to another area and I'll show y'all, show it to you. Now this is on the, past the air conditioner on down that back of the house. I've got the big ivy, another big fern, and down here I've got 4 quart size, I think it's quart size, maybe half gallons of rosemary plants, and I'm going to put 4 rosemary plants right here, and that's what I have them, if you can see them right there. That's another part of the work in progress. Now let me turn the camera around and we'll look at the rest of it. Okay, here's where my raised bed starts, and I'll get up closer in a minute. But I've got them all the way, and then I've showed y'all before, this is where my garlic and all is planted. I've got garlic, I've got some these green onions that I had planted. Right on the other side is my garlic. There's my bay laurel tree. This is basil. No, it's not. This one is lemon balm. And then I've got a lemon verbena that I'm going to put in here with it. This one has my basil. And I'm going to plant seed to go with the big plants. I'm a little bit impatient, so I bought me some plants to go with my seeds. And then can y'all see those little bitty running red roses back there? They're all in here. I'm going to put some kind of a little trellis to run them on because you can't dig them out. They keep coming back. This is bee balm that I planted last year, and it came back, and it has yet to bloom. I'll be glad when it blooms because it'll draw the pollinators in. Now here's some more of there's some more garlic. I have a tomato plant and some more stuff in that needs to be planted, but my Peggy Martin rose is really showing out over there. So here's another view of the raised beds. These 3 black ones, you'll remember, is all that I had back here, and there was just grass in between them. This one right here has zucchini and yellow squash, and I have some little bitty squash plants, squash on it. See if I can find one. See that little squash down in there? I've got several. It won't be long I'll have squash. Then I just have some flowers planted. These are eggplants and bell pepper and pimento pepper. And then I have peas planted in the one that's empty. I have sugar snap peas planted in this one with a rosemary at the end. And then with the trellis over there, I have cucumbers to go on it. And on each side of that, that's where my sugar snaps are. This one right here, this first one here, is brown crowders. And over there I have pink-eyed purple hulls. Then this is a big, see my little angels. I've moved all of my yard art back here where I can enjoy it. I've got the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, and then the guardian angel down here. And I'm not big on angel stuff, but I got it from a yard one time. This is celery that I planted from the stumps of the celery that's coming up, and that's an African blue basil, which brings in pollinators. In this one is jalapeno peppers. I have some thyme planted here in the middle. And then this is the little bitty red peppers that I'll make pepper sauce out of. And this is a big thing of 4 o'clocks that came back on their own, and I'm happy to have them. And this is the cucumbers that I was showing you a while ago. I'm training them to go up around. It's a half of a cattle panel. We cut it in half. And then in here on each side are the sugar snap peas. That's my tomatoes in all of those buckets. And they go all the way over to the chicken pen. I've got lots of tomatoes planted. This is pole beans to go on the trellis, and I used the full width of the cattle panel and arched it over. Richard did that for me. And I have contenders on each side. Now I'll go through here. I've got a vinca planted down here and just my little bird sitting there. This is another African blue basil, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put in here with it. This is cilantro that's looking really good. I've got quite a bit of dill because I'm going to make dill pickles, and then I want to put some dill up. And that's some more celery that I planted the bottoms of it because I freeze-dried a load of celery. So I saved the bottoms so that I could grow me some more celery. Tomato plant that still has to have a basket on it. There's some little rabbits living peacefully down there. And I poked this old chicken up in this tree, and I'll be Johnny, it grew into it. So I got to somehow get my chicken loose. I have 2 pieces of rosemary here, and I had never heard of it. It's called foxtail rosemary. So I'm anxious to get it, see how it grows. I'm not sure that I'm going to leave it here, but it needed to be planted. I bought me another small bay laurel. I'm going to get that in a pot. There's another African blue that I've got to get planted. And then I have 3 little butterfly bushes because I'm going to tell you I had 3. And the monarch caterpillars came and just cleaned them, so I want to have more next year for them. Another African blue basil and garlic. And at the end of the garlic, we have a big tub of mint. I wish I could smell, because I like to walk out here and smell everything. The middle one, the farthest one is not planted yet. I'm going to plant collard greens in there and just see what they'll do. Then this one is contenders, and they're not up yet. And this one is contenders, because I want to be able to can green beans. But in the middle is cucumber. And then I've just planted some pentas and some marigolds. And then that on the end, that's bigger, taller green is tarragon, and in the pot right behind it there is chamomile. I have some mint in the foot on the left and a penta plant on the right, vincas, and marigolds. And then we'll walk over here. This is the plant that had that was big. It was tall and it had lots of leaves, and my caterpillars cleaned it out, which is what I planted it for. Now I have a sign on the house here that says welcome, and all the white paint has come off, so I'm going to take that down and spray it again, and I'll bring y'all back when stuff's a little bigger and you'll get to see that looking a little nicer. Okay, this is a spearmint plant, and this is the chamomile I was telling y'all, the tarragon, some more rosemary, marigolds, and rosemary in that corner. And then this is just some of that big jew that I broke off from the front yard last year and stuck in a basket, and I have a nice basket of it there. Now I'm going to walk over here and show you what I've been doing in my little sitting area. I'll show you this. I had some big jew baskets that, you know how after a while the stems will just kind of turn brown and you got purple jew on the end? Well, I broke it all off, and I've got a bunch of hanging baskets planted in, and in another month they'll be big and pretty. I have some more here on the ground planted. This is a Monrovia vine that comes back every year, and it will actually fill that arch right there when it gets back and does its thing. And these are some of my herbs, oregano. That rosemary has done well, but I've got a possum or something that's coming in here, armadillo, and digging in my dirt. I've got to put brick around the bottom so it won't kill it. I'll just have a fit if it kills my rosemary. And here's some more oregano and thyme. I have some more rosemary. All of my rice paper plants over by the fence are coming back real big and pretty. My little windmill that the kids got me for Christmas one year. I have Mexican mint marigold growing over there that came back. I thought I had lost it, but I didn't. So the area along the fence, all of that has got a lot of work to be done. But I'll get there. Now this is my pea gravel. Let me show y'all something. This big old shovel right here, I shuffle the gravel up and put it in the wagon and pick it and dump it and spread it. I didn't realize that Troy could just scoop it up in the bucket and dump it over in the wagon, and that saved lots of more of my strength. But I did all that to start with just to get it where I wanted it over around my raised beds. And let me show you. These are my chairs that I put pots in and had herbs in last year. And my pineapple sage is coming back. But I realized that whatever that Troy mixed with this dirt, it's too compact and water stands on the top. And that's why stuff didn't last. Of course, I've got 4 of these chairs. So I'm going to empty that dirt out and put mushroom compost in there with probably a little bit of sand or something. And replant my pots for this year. Now, I've got some stuff here that it's a conglomeration of mess that's got to be hauled out of here, and I'm putting it over here where I can get it in the bucket. I raked all these leaves up, and because I let the chickens out, you have to cover them up or they'll unrake them for you. So that's why that's all covered where they won't get up there and scratch them everywhere. All of this is another Peggy Martin. 3 buckets with Peggy Martin in it that I didn't know where I was going to put, and so it has just grown wild and crazy. I'm going to get all of this pulled up and on a trellis somewhere. And you see the little table and chairs right there? From there, we will have pea gravel all the way over to where this pea gravel is. And this is one of my favorite places to come out here and sit. I have the big Corinthian bells, and then I have my lawn furniture. And the reason it's tumped up is because it was raining and I didn't want rain to stand in it. Just a minute. I have hydrangeas over there in that bed. And then this is just an airplane apologize. This particular little sitting area, the ground is redone, and I have the pea gravel everywhere, and I just absolutely love the pea gravel. It's great. Those are elderberry trees that I have planted that are doing great. I've got to get them moved out of here because they're starting to root to the ground, and I don't want them in here. But I'll show y'all how much work goes along with having a yard this big. All the banana trees all the dead leaves have to be cut off of them, and all of these leaves from the oak tree that I had in a pile, the chickens have scratched and unpiled. So I've got to come out here and get all these leaves raked, and we'll haul them out with the bucket on the big tractor. And can you see that cane growing over there? The lady I got that from, it was in a big 2-gallon pot, and she said it is contained, it's not invasive. From the roots going out the bottom of that pot, I have fishing cane growing everywhere I've got to get rid of. But I've got some hydrangeas. It right there, that's hydrangeas growing. And then another little sitting area over there with tables and chairs. But I've got to get the little weeds that have come up through the pea gravel out and top it off with more pea gravel. This is another Peggy Martin rose that somehow came up over here by itself. I've got to dig up and get it in a pot. A lot of this stuff I'll just share with somebody that don't have any. But here's this sitting area, and this is one of my favorite places to just come and relax, especially in the mornings or late in the evenings. Troy's got to get Curly Sue out of here when we get through using her. My ginger's coming back. I've got to trim all the dead leaves on the ginger. My rain plant is coming back. I've got another Peggy Martin down here. They're just everywhere, and they just bloom so prolifically, and they're pretty. Now I've got some work to do over by my red stove. I've got big old letters that say herbs that I'm going to put on that building. And it's not going to be as widespread as it was last year. I'm just going to have stuff on either side of the stove, just a little bit. Just for a cute spot in the backyard. But anyway, my chickens know I'm out here and they're wanting out. That is horsetail, if you can see it, growing in that gray bucket. And I just keep watering there and it just keeps growing. These are called Mexican hydrangeas, and they grow, once you get one or two, they come up all over your yard because the roots run under the ground, and they make a big pink looking bloom that looks like a hydrangea. But let me tell you, once you get them, they keep coming back. I mean, I can pull them up to get them out of my way, knowing I'm going to have plenty more. So they're in amongst everything, and I just leave them because I like the blooms to pop up among the greenery. This is a split-leaf philodendron that I can't tell you how many winters it's frozen back, but it always comes back. Gives you hope. Things are going to go through the winter, and then you'll have something else pretty in the summer. I'm going to walk over here and show y'all a vine that I don't know what it is, and I hope it's not poison because it came up on one side of my trellis that we've got up, or my arch, or whatever you want to call it, out of the cattle panel. And if it's poison, I need to get it down, but if it isn't, I'm going to let it cover it. So let me walk over there and see if any of y'all can identify that. Monrovia is right over there on that side, and it'll come up and cover it and have the prettiest blooms. But see this vine right here? I don't know. It looks like kind of like an oak leaf, but it just came up of its own, and I don't know what it is, but it's nice and green. So if any of y'all know what that is, I wish that you would let me to know. And I'm going to show you another little vine back here. Y'all how much I like bargains and Goodwill and all. Well, I'm queen of the yard sale site that's on in Kingwood too. And see that little variegated vine right there? I went to buy some yard stuff, shrimp plants that I poked in the ground that grew, and a little bit of asparagus. But I went to buy some yard stuff from these people, and they had a whole, like a 4x8 thing on the side of their driveway right by their house with that vine on it. And I asked them about it, and they said, you're welcome to clip some off. Nobody's been able to root it, but it blooms purple flowers. So mine has rooted. So I'm hoping that I will be able to transplant that somewhere and put it on some type of a trellis and have some pretty purple flowers. But this is my potting area, and a friend of mine, her husband, made my potting table, but right now it's got stuff all over it. But this is where I work when I'm potting stuff. I've got shelves, got me some doors to use in the yard. Don't know just where I'm going to put them yet. I have a lot of plants along my fence. Again, I haven't worked out here yet this spring, so there's leaves, and this is ruella, and let me just tell you, if you ever get one little sprig, it's everywhere. I've got cast iron by the tree, a rose of Sharon that I planted here that's doing really good. And we call that a cigar plant. I don't know what its name is. It has a little white bloom that comes up that smells really good. But one of those, and you've got them everywhere. I never planted any over here. They came from over by the hammocks. Then I have a wild plantain that has medicinal qualities. 2 of them, in fact, that have come up. And then I forgot what the name of that little purple plant is. And then a lot more of my cast iron down the back of the fence here. So, a lot of work to be done in this area. Got ferns in among it, but this is going to be the last thing on the workout this year. Can you see the hens gathered up over here because I'm walking around on this side? Oh my goodness, they want out. But they can only be out when I'm out here because I keep the water hose handy and I squirt them if they get up in my beds. And then I have some more tomato plants over here in front of the chicken coop. And my vine has really greened up good over the top of it. It'll bloom and it'll smell pretty and it'll be pretty. I have some coral vine on this side that's come back. So when my jasmine is through, my coral vine starts blooming and it really makes it pretty. I like things kind of wild and jungly and wispy, and so that's a bunch of the Mexican hydrangeas that have come up. I have some fern over there. I've got to trim the banana trees. A bunch more of the Mexican hydrangeas. Some more of that cigar plant. They get pretty big. Then I have ferns and some irises in here. And my bottle tree. Y'all, I love my backyard. Troy thinks it's a bunch of weeds, but to me it's a haven and it's a peaceful place to come and rest. When I get through working, I rest. Sit down and enjoy it. This is my walkthrough that goes around this big row of cast iron, which, by the way, I started with 1 or 2 sprigs side by side down through here. And when I get this tree that has fallen and all of this cleaned up, there's pea gravel. It's a pea gravel walkway, and I have ferns. I have some native yopons that have grown up in here. I have some of the rice paper plants. It's a peaceful place to walk through in the mornings and just thank the good Lord for a garden and the calm and the peace that it brings to me. I'm not going to walk down through there because it's kind of a mess right now, but do y'all see those big loquat bushes? Let's see. Right there. See those leaves? The birds planted loquats, and I have loquats trees that have come up back here, and they're evergreens. So I'm going to dig them up and plant them along the fence where I'll have evergreen along the fence in the wintertime. My Louisiana iris has come up, and I think I'll have some blooms from them before too long. And this right here is just a little island of plants, and there's a walk through to the trail I just showed you, and another walk through, and then you come out at the bridge across the gully over there. That's some more cast iron that I planted from just little bitty sprigs, and it multiplies. That's a big loquat tree, and I love it because in the dead of winter I have those big green wonderful leaves. Lantana, and then my amaryllis. Can y'all see them blooming on the back of the house over there? And then here's the garden. There's my amaryllis. Some of them have not bloomed. I have a lot of Mexican hydrangeas, and I'm going to leave them because the blooms show from in the sunroom, and I love it. Then over here on the extreme other side of the yard, I have just a hodgepodge of stuff planted in here. Some just different things, flags, and then there's the gate going out on the other end. This is some mint and some vincas. I got this on, looks like a tub out of a washing machine or something somewhere, and I just absolutely love it. And I've got the little solar lights, and at night it looks like a park out here with all the little lights on. My big rose of Sharon, it's pretty when it's blooming there at the corner. So I hope y'all have enjoyed the tour. This is what I've been doing. I've been shoveling pea gravel. I'm so proud of my squash. Thanking the good Lord for it. This is zucchini over here, and I don't have any. I've got lots of blooms, so hopefully I'll have some zucchini before long. You see, I've got me a little table and chairs that I got off of one of the yard sales, sitting over there where I can get in the shade and cool off a little bit when I'm so tired. Brought some of the ferns out of the greenhouse, and that's ferns that are year-round. That's holly fern. But some of mine in baskets and pots I've got here till I get them pretty again, and then they'll go to the front porch. But see, we'll be able to walk from here where this table and chairs are. I'll move all of the Peggy Morton roses, and I'll right over to the area I showed you where I just put the pea gravel down. And here's my little dump wagon. So you can imagine how many loads of pea gravel I had to haul and dump to fill all these places in, because it doesn't hold a whole lot. But I couldn't unhook it and dump it if it was any heavier. Okay, y'all, it's hot out here, and I'm starting to perspire. So I'm going to get back in the house and get this edited and get it uploading where y'all know I'm still alive and well. I've just been busy out here, and I love every minute of it. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being a part of Apron Strings. If you're new, I welcome you to my channel. And if you've been here before, I'm so glad you keep coming back. I've got a wonderful dessert that I'm going to be sharing with y'all in a day or two that it's delicious. A friend shared her recipe with me, and so I'll be sharing that with y'all probably the next video. And I have some more good stuff coming up as well. So stay tuned, hang with me, come back and watch the videos, share my channel with your friends. And y'all, don't forget to be getting you a little bit of extra stuff and putting it in your pantry. One can at a time, and you'll have you several cans. Thank the good Lord for what He's done for you, for giving you the money, the provision to buy stuff. And I'll see y'all again in a day or two. The good Lord bless you.